Friday, 28th February 2025. Good morning. Welcome to the Starr Breakfast News. Coming up this morning, government reiterates intentions to amend road traffic regulations of 2012 to regularize motor and tricycles for commercial transport. Also coming up, economist Professor Gatti expresses confidence President Mahama will restore the country's economy to its glory days.
I think that is a good promise. We are not looking for someone who only paints the picture as it is, but we also want someone who paints the picture and give the bold commitment to resolve the problem we face.
Still in this edition, one student arrested in connection with the alleged murder of fourth-year biological science student at Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Joanna D. Yabani. We've got the details of these stories coming up, but first, let's remind you of our affiliate stations across the country.
Star News is coming to you live on Ultimate 106.9 FM in Kumasi, Empire 102.7 FM in Takrady, Zeps 95.9 FM in Zebila, Nissim 100.1 FM in Lamshao, My Star Radio in the USA. Also live on Facebook on Star 103.5 FM and on starfm.com.gh around the world. This is Star 103.5 FM. Star News. Informed, in-depth, in touch.
I am El-Nurein. Abass, many thanks to you for tuning in. President John Dramani Mahama has reiterated his administration's intention to legalize and regulate commercial motor and tricycles known as Okada as part of a broader effort to modernize the transportation sector. According to President Mahama, motor and tricycles hold significant potential as a more convenient, timely, safer and cost-effective mode of transportation. The current road traffic regulations of 2012 LI 2180 prohibits licensing motor and tricycles for fare-paying passengers. Speaking during a presentation of the State of the Nation address here in Accra, President Mahama said the Transport Ministry will amend the regulatory framework to regularize their use for commercial purpose.
Motorcycles and tricycles, commonly known as Okada, hold significant potential as a more convenient, timely, safe and cost-effective mode of transport. Currently, the Road Traffic Regulation of 2012, LI 2180, prohibits licensing motorcycles and tricycles for fare-paying passengers. As part of our government policy, the Ministry will amend the regulatory framework to regularize the use of motorcycles and tricycles for commercial passenger transport. In our ongoing effort to revitalize the whole airport, the government will facilitate the establishment of the state-of-the-art pilot training academy and a maintenance, repair and overhaul facility. The Volta region will become a center of excellence for aviation training and aircraft maintenance. This project will create significant employment opportunities. It will stimulate economic growth and bolster tourism in Ho and the surrounding communities.
President Mahama also painted a gloomy picture of the country's housing sector. According to him, housing deficit stands at 1.2 million units as his administration will introduce a low-cost social housing project.
Mr. Speaker, the quality of life of any nation relies significantly on a well-regulated and efficient housing market that guarantees access to decent homes. Our housing deficit is estimated at over 1.2 million units, and this has been the situation for many decades. High costs associated with land acquisition, construction material, and access to financing have made home ownership unattainable for many, primarily affecting vulnerable populations and contributing to the rise of slums. This government is steadfast in its commitment to complete all ongoing housing initiatives, beginning with the Saglimi Affordable Housing Project. We'll also implement a low-cost social housing project supported by a district housing scheme. This project aims to remove the financial barriers to home ownership. Workers in the formal sector, public or private, who have about 15 to 20 years before retirement can purchase and own a house in cedis and have the cost deducted monthly from their salaries until the house is fully paid up.
Let's still remain on the State of the Nation address, as an economist, Professor John Gachi, has expressed confidence that President Mahama will restore the country's economy. It follows the president's assurance to the nation of his full commitment to tackling the economic challenges currently facing Ghana. In his first State of the Nation address in his second term to Parliament, he remains committed to taking any necessary steps to restore the economy.
In the next 4 years, our debt servicing will amount to 280 billion cedis, and this comprises of 150 billion for domestic debt and 130 billion in external debt servicing. Our catastrophic debt position has also severely impacted infrastructural projects that should have been completed. Currently, there are 55 stalled projects due to the default of debt and subsequent restructuring, with a total value of $2.95 billion not disbursed. The stalling of these projects is expected to result in a cost overrun of about 15 billion cedis. Mr. Speaker, notwithstanding this gloomy background, I remain committed to leading this government and taking every necessary step to reset our economy, getting things back on track, and working with the good people of our country to build the Ghana we want. We are doubling our efforts to complete all outstanding structural reforms. Through the budget, we will implement corrective measures to restore fiscal discipline and debt sustainability.
You had President John Dramani Mahama. Now reacting to this, economist Professor John Gachi backed President Mahama in his efforts to revive Ghana's economy back to its glory days.
Well, I think that is a good promise. We are not looking for someone who only paints the picture as it is, but we also want someone who paints the picture and give the bold commitment to resolve the problem we face. Having painted the picture about the economy, the sectors of the economy, educational sector, the energy sector, the finances, thinking fund, etc. It is heartwarming that he indicated that he is ready to face the problem and take Ghana out of the crisis and chart the path of economic recovery and transformation that will provide prosperity to all Ghanaians. And that is what we expect a leader to do, and he has done that.
You had economist Professor John Gachi. This is still the Starr Breakfast News. Let's move on to other stories. One student has been arrested in connection with the alleged murder of Miss Joanna D. Yabani, a fourth-year biological science student at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. The untimely death has sent shockwaves across the campus, with many students expressing grief and concern over security issues. The unfortunate incident happened on Thursday, 27th February. Now, speaking to Starr News on this development, University Relations Officer Dr. Daniel Norris Bekwe says they have intensified security on campus and have directed students to walk in pairs and avoid dark places.
So we have beefed up security on campus. If you watched or you read my second statement on the update, you would have noticed that security has been actually tightened within the university and then around the university. We have about something in the region of almost 100 police officers. Our own security services have been deployed to vantage points to ensure that everyone within the university community, including those who are off campus, are safe. We want to assure students that we have their security concerns at heart, and we will always do everything within our powers to make sure that all members of the university community are safe. In the meantime, we've asked them to make sure that they walk in pairs and avoid walking in dark places with their valuables in the night, and then also report any fictitious activity that they may chance upon to the nearest to the police and then our security services within the university campus.
You had Dr. Daniel Norris Bekwe, who is the University Relations Officer of KNUST. Now, the Starr Ghana Foundation, together with its stakeholders, is calling for legal recognition of Fulbe communities as Ghanaians. At the launch of the Fulbe Integration Manual, the foundation demanded an end to stereotypes that associate Fulbe communities with insecurities, robberies, and farmer-herder conflicts. There's more in the following report.
The launch, which brought together policymakers, community leaders, and development partners, aims to provide a practical set of tools to support the integration of the phobic population into Ghanaian communities. Speaking at the event, the Northern Ghana Projects Manager at Starr Ghana Foundation, El-Nurein, emphasized that the manual would serve as a valuable resource for both state and non-state institutions in fostering phobic inclusion, particularly for marginalized communities.
This manual is a very useful guideline or reference material for them to be able to use to reach out to phobics within the communities who have been marginalized in one way or the other. We are also targeting state actors or government agencies that work directly in promoting integration or keeping security within the country.
Meanwhile, the president of the Ghana National Association of Cattle Farmers, Imam Hanafi Sonda, called for regulatory measures within phobic communities to help facilitate the integration process.
Where there are no rules and regulations, there are no offenses. So we always believe that if there are regulatory boards, if there is a regulation at the district levels, where in each district we'll be able to identify the number of animals we have in the district, the owners of the animals, where they are located, and all those things. And there are common grazing grounds. And we also identify who are the crop farmers that are also there. Then it simply means that if there is a farm distraction within that area, it is easy to fall on those people who are there.
The manual was developed as a guide for practitioners and policymakers working on issues of social cohesion and integration, particularly concerning the phobic community.
And that brings us to the end of the breakfast news. When you log on to starfm.com.gh, you'll find more news updated there. I am El-Nurein Abass. Many thanks to you for tuning in. Do enjoy the rest of your day.